Hello everyone, today we are looking at one of these. This is a Nokia C6. If you're German, you'll probably recognize this if you're an old school German, because this was for the old C-netz out in Germany. Now this phone does look very similar to the Nokia 2110, the 2140 and the Nokia Orange 5.1 that I did recently a video about. I did 3 videos, one for each one. This is a Nokia Orange 5.1. I did a video about this a couple of months back, I think it was. Check that out. But you wouldn't, you would think it's the same phone. It looks the same pretty much, but actually two completely different beasts, because this one here, the Nokia Orange 5.1, this is a GSM 1800 phone. No, it's GSM because this is what I used personally. This is my personal one from back in the day, and it does take a SIM card and it operates on GSM, which is digital. This baby, on the other hand, is analog, believe it or not. So let's take a look inside. Now, you got a nice little manual. This is not a very thick manual by any means, compared to some of the manuals for the 2110 or the 2140 that I showed you guys. That manual's quite thin. So this is what you got when you bought one of these. You got a battery, you got the phone. Now this has the UK 3-pin charger. You'd obviously not get that. You would get the 2-pin. At the time when I bought this, I was in Germany, and I bought this together with this thing here, which I'll show you guys in a minute. With the aim of having what's in this box here installed in my car and using this phone. Now, if you speak German, you'll recognize that this says Das Autotelefon, which means the car phone. So they sold these as a car solution, but also as a hand portable solution, sort of the two combined. If you checked out last week's video where I did a video about the Motorola C451, a great big phone, basically they were car phones but in transportable mode, and you'd had to carry that around and then connect that to your car. This was a much smaller option. Obviously this came out much later. This came out, I think these were about 94, 95, I think. Whereas the PRX 451 that I showed you last week, they started making those, I think it was like 85, 84, 85, right the way up to, I think it was about 91, 92. But anyway, this is the phone. You also got obviously a slim battery. This is not the original one. So like I was saying, I replaced the European charger with the UK one, because at the time, stupidly, I thought to myself, oh, I'll never need the European one. So I tossed that out. And then obviously when I came to the UK, I went out and bought a whole bunch of these chargers, because these chargers are universal for quite a lot of the old Nokia phones. Stupidly, I didn't keep any of the European ones, and I kind of regret doing that, but you live and learn. What can I say? So, but this still obviously does work. This is a UK one, and these are getting quite rare now to get these replaced. There are still people that sell these, but they're becoming harder and harder to get. So, but anyway, let me move this box out the way just to show you the back of the box. My German's not too good, but it's got a whole bunch of features there with a nickel metal hydride battery. Of course, back in those days, most phones had nickel cadmium batteries, NiCd. Nickel metal hydrides were the latest and greatest thing back then. Of course, nowadays, most cell phone batteries are either lithium ion or lithium polymer or something along the lithium lines. So you got a nice little picture of the car kit, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which is what is actually in this box. So they bundled the two together, and you kind of bought both together, I suppose, and that's the solution they sold you guys in the shop. So looking at the phone quickly, then I'll show you guys the phone, and I'll show you what's in here as well. Now this does have a SIM slot, but this isn't actually take a SIM card, although I know it definitely does look like it takes a SIM card. This is not a SIM card. This is a smart card. The C-net did use smart cards, like SIM cards in essence, but not SIM cards, because the C-net's cellular network was obviously analog. And if you saw the smart cards I showed you guys last week with the C451, they had a magnetic strip which allowed you to use them in phone boxes as well. Real neat feature that. Obviously, if you cut the chip down to size, you're not going to be able to use it in phone boxes. So, but this is the phone. This is an NHG-2. If you're into Nokia product codes, I'm going to try and fire this one up. Now, it's not going to let me go into the menu to scroll through the menu without an active C-net card. And of course, I only have the big ones, and I'm not going to cut those up because that'll devalue the card. So, but just to show the outside of the phone, real long antenna. Because this operated on a 450 megahertz frequency, you needed a much longer antenna. By comparison, the GSM 1800 has a much shorter battery, much shorter antenna if you compare the two. And also the stub is a lot longer to compensate for the extra length. I don't know if you can see that, but you guys get the idea. Anyway, the standard Nokia desktop cradle, this is what it looked like. This works with all the 2100 series phones with a slim battery as well as an extended battery. You'd plug that in, and obviously if you had a spare battery, you could also plug that in like so. Got a button to condition the battery in the rear slot. This is a generic Nokia one. When I say generic, I mean it is definitely Nokia, but it's for all the 2100 series phones, which this is a phone member of that family, because all the 2100 series phones were this sort of shape, with the same contacts in the bottom and everything. And obviously these two made like so. So let me quickly plug this in, get some juice to this baby, and I will power this up in a minute. Okay, so here we go. So this will go in here like so. I'm hoping this will start charging, he says. Maybe not then. Well, that's interesting. It's not got enough juice in there. Okay. Well, what I'll do, quickly throw this battery on here, because I know this definitely does work. And this should hopefully charge that and give it just enough power for me to switch the battery. So in the meantime, while that's charging, let me show you guys what is included in the car kit. These are old school. So this is the original Nokia car kit. It's a big box. This is the Kark 11. If you guys are familiar with the car kits, they did a whole bunch of these. They were all called KARK, which is car kit dash, and then a number. Some of them are, I think, dash 6. This is an 11. They did a whole bunch of other ones for all the different phones. Fixed hands-free car kit. Doesn't say much else. I don't know what those numbers mean, but this is the box. It is a little bit dusty and it's got a bunch of dirt on there, but anyway. So this is what you got when you bought a car kit back in the day. And this is probably mid to late 90s, these car kits were around. This is an unused one. Now the only thing that is actually optional is this slave handset. I know that's optional because I actually retrospectively bought this for another car kit that I had in my other car back in the day, and use this extensively. It doesn't have a keypad as such, but this is like a slave handset which you can have in the rear, and you obviously could buy another one of these to plug into the front, which did have the keypad. Not for this car kit, but for the more advanced ones. But this is compatible with this particular car kit. So I'll show you guys the box quickly. This is all still original. This is all never been used, as you can clearly see. But there you go. The handset plugs into here like so. I'll quickly show you what I mean. There you go. So that will plug in like so. You got the hole of the booster, which is this thing here, which I'll show you guys in a minute. The speaker, mic, and obviously the power. Real simple stuff. Not really much to it with these old school boxes. they were quite basic for today's standards, but back then this was state-of-the-art technology. I'm struggling to get this guy back in the bag. There we go. So you obviously got some cables and whatnot, and an instruction on how to wire that stuff up. You got a brand new speaker, obviously, which you put underneath a dash somewhere. You got a microphone. This is all still sealed, obviously, and it tells you where the best places are to put them. And notice this has got a left-hand drive car as well. The picture, and then you got obviously a whole bunch of other stuff which I'll show you in a sec. And then you got the cradle. This is the cradle. Now the phone, this has got connectors. What's important to note, it's got an RF connector there, and you got the RF cable there as well. So you'd put this in here like so, with a battery obviously, and that would latch in, and you could place and receive calls on this phone, but use your car speaker and your microphone. And you also had a big ass antenna mounted on the outside of your car. I don't have the antenna here because the antenna for the C450 network, the antenna was long. I mean, it was probably 40-50 centimeters in length. I remember thinking, crap, I'm gonna have to install that on my car, and that was actually one of the reasons I never got around to it. Apart from the fact that personal circumstances at the time meant that I didn't actually stay in Germany very long. But this is what you got when you bought one of these back in the day. This is all still original seal. I didn't put the sticky tape on there. That's how it actually comes, believe it or not. And that would plug into the box I just showed you guys. And then obviously you got a whole bunch of fuse holders and some other stuff to wire that stuff in. You got a bunch of screws with a holder. This is actually for mounting the this mates to the back of this. So you'd screw this onto your dash, and then this cup holder would slot in. You got obviously a join as well if you're so inclined to have it at an angle. And then you got another wiring loop with some power cables and stuff for a connection directly to the battery, and some fuses and stuff. Again, this is all original. Stickers still intact, so never been used. This, I bought this for a hell of a lot of money back in the day, thinking I was going to install this in my luxury car back in the day, and I never got around to it. Unfortunately, it's one of those things. Life throws you some nasty times sometimes, and personal circumstances changed, and I never got around to it. So, but anyway, hopefully this has got enough juice just to be powerful enough to power the other phone. So quickly throw this battery on and show you guys that it does power on. Now, there we go. It will say insert card. There we go. And you can't actually do anything with this. It won't. It says emergency call not possible, but it won't let you go into the menu or anything. If you checked out the other video about this phone, you can obviously go in the menu when you put a SIM card in and sift through it and go through the options. I don't have a card for this, unfortunately, so I really can't show the menu, which is actually quite, well, it's quite bad really. But you can't buy C-net SIM cards, or C-net smart cards, I should say, nowadays, because obviously the C-net is long gone. Obviously, if you have one to hand and you want to sell it or donate it to me, I'll gladly accept it and pay you for the privilege. And I could do a nice video with this phone as well, because this is brand new. If you want to send me an email or drop me a comment and get in touch, I would really appreciate that, because like I said, C-net smart cards are very hard to come by nowadays. So if you got one lying around, if you come across one in your loft or your cellar, and you don't want to throw it away, give me the thumbs up and drop me a comment. Let me know. So that's it for this video. Not a great video in terms of powering the phone on and stuff. I'm sorry about that, but some of these phones I just can't power on without a SIM card. So, but give me the thumbs up if you like the phone or the video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of the other videos I've got about phones that do power on. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.